Welcome to Driven, the Unscripted Success podcast, with your hosts, Mike Manino and Nariman Hamden, bringing you insights and stories on achieving personal, professional, and financial success.
Hi, everybody. This is Michael Manino with Driven Unscripted Success. Today, we're going to be talking about interviewing professional and financial successful people who share their experience with you, the audience, and how they got where they're at today. And zooming from the beautiful island of
Sarasota, Florida.
Sarasota, Florida. This is a very successful young lady. She's Dr. Yaya Diamond. She's actually a martial artist too. We've been talking martial arts probably 20 minutes before this interview started, and we think we hit it out pretty good.
Yeah.
If you'd like to introduce yourself, tell me about yourself, where you're at now, and how you got to where you're going.
Oh my gosh. My name is Yaya Diamond. It is my trademark as well as the name that most people know me by. I am the daughter of a celebrity, Evelyn Thomas. She sang the song High Energy from the 80s. It was on tour from the age of 4, toured the world, had a great time, graduated early because of tutors and things. You know, when you're on the road, you kind of advance a little bit faster.
No, I don't know. I went to the parochial school, so yeah.
Okay.
I can understand. I could get where you're going.
I kind of understand that we had tutors round the clock. Even when people were out of school, we were still learning. And we got tutored on the weekends. So we were way ahead of, and I say we as in the children that toured together. So I toured with a lot of different other professional singers' children, and we were kind of like bunched together.
Oh, that's cool.
It was cool because we were never really by ourselves, or we always had like other children around us that were around the same age as we were. So it was really good. When I got to college, I went to college for law, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
No.
I couldn't do it. I just didn't have it in me to be a lawyer. So I changed up and I went to, and this is funny, I went to Italian opera, and I took Italian opera, and I also went to acting. I figured that I can't really act in the courtroom and get away with it. I'd probably get like put in jail. But I can act and get away with it on stage. So I did acting for theater and camera for 2 years, and then I started my own businesses with my husband, and we had karate schools in Miami. And now we have one here in Sarasota where we live now. I am the CEO of Red Hot Reality Entertainment, which is not only a TV broadcasting network, but also a record label on Sony The Orchard now, which is great. I'm also the co-CEO of Women to Women and True Network, a broadcasting network. So yeah, it's a lot.
It is a lot. You've had a very unique start to this. I mean, that is super cool and crazy. And the martial arts part. Here's the question that's not on my playlist, but I haven't had somebody that's at a level close to me. And how has martial arts affected your life?
Oh my gosh. Well, when I was young, my mom didn't want to put me into martial arts because I was already fighting people.
That's the best place for a martial art.
Yeah, I know. And I told her, I said, if I knew how to fight, then I really wouldn't want to fight. And she's like, yes, you would. I was like, no, I wouldn't, I swear. But she didn't put me in. When I turned 16, 17 years old, I got a job. And the first thing I did was I went and got myself some martial arts lessons because people were picking on me. I was not the kind of person that would go and try to fight anyone. But for some reason, people would, she thinks she's better than us because of her mother or something. So I was always in the fight, especially when I got back home and I had to go back to school, like regular school. It was harder for me because people were picking on me all the time. So I had to fight. I had to get out of it. I had to fight. So I wanted to know how to fight just so that I could just kind of do one punch and then they would leave me alone. But my mother wouldn't let me. But when I got into, being a person who was in the work field, the first thing I did was get myself some karate lessons, and it worked. I had to use my karate a few times in my life, unfortunately. And, it really served me well. And I like it because I have very good control over my temper. I have very good control over my attitude. I don't want to fight because I know what I can do. And I know how to disable someone faster so that they can back up and I can leave. So it really served me. It served me good. Yeah.
The actual combat part of martial arts is a small part of it.
Yeah.
I've noticed that, someone said to me, what would happen if you had to use martial arts? I said, I'll probably never need the martial arts. And they said, why? I go, if someone says they want to kick my butt, I'm like, all right, cool, let's do that. Because, I've paid people to kick my butt. Because when you get higher and higher up, you have to get better and better, and you have to hire people to teach you. So they're usually showing you how to kick your butt, and it's really kind of cool. But if you jump up and say, hey, I'm in for the fight, then generally the bullies back down. I'm sure there's a lot of time a bully came up to you and said, I'm going to kick your butt, and you're like, all right. Like, well, wait a minute.
I told him, I said, that's not a good thing.
Too quick.
No, I told him, I said, that is not a good idea. You don't want to. I said, you don't want to do that.
You don't want to. You want to try
it now. Can we say I'm wrong and I can just walk away?
Right.
Yeah. But on the other side too, the martial arts did help me, because I got pregnant and I didn't really get like too big. I was always able to kind of recoup and get back down to size, and I kept my stamina, you know what I mean, and my agility, and so that in physically it really does help, and mentally it helps as well.
Doesn't it help in business? I mean, just keeping a calm mind in anything you do. Like I tell everybody when you fight, the first thing you learn at green belt, the first thing you learn is when you get pissed off in a fight, you've lost.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the first thing you learn, because you get pissed off and then you try and go at them. Then you try and go to hard. Then you try and go, and you're just getting tagged every time. And then you have to learn to calm yourself down in a fight. And in business, that works 10 times better, because when someone says, I don't want you to do this, you can't do this, they just get calm and say, hey, listen, what about this, this, and this? If you're looking for the greatest guy, let me show you why, my product is going to work better for you than any other product you could find.
Mm-hmm.
But if you get all emotional, it's just, and especially in relationships with your kids, your parents, yourself, and your wife, your spouse.
Yeah, it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
It does. Agreed wholeheartedly.
It doesn't work. Yeah.
So you have an amazing story about, where you came from. In that field, there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of competition in that space. What sets you apart? I mean, the doctorate is huge, but what else sets you apart? And what comes easy to you and challenging for others?
I'm weird. I think I'm very weird in a sense.
You're not.
I think outside the box, which has always been my mother's pet peeve with me. She says, you never think normal. I'm like, what's normal? I can actually, take anything and make something out of it. The biggest thing with me is that I can create a job where there is none and get paid for it.
Nice.
And so I've been doing that mostly all my life. When I was 4 years old, I looked at my mother, and my mother says, what are you going to do? You're going to go on the road with me. You can't be sitting around. What are you going to do? I says, if you pay me, then I will go ahead and learn the dances with the dancers. And then I will add, hey, and I said, well, give me the boa. I'm going to act like Janet Jackson. And I was 4 years old. And she was like, so you're going to dance with the dancers? And I said, yes. And she says, you're 4. I said, yes. She says, and you want me to pay you? I said, yeah, I think I should get at least $20. The $20 as I got older turned out to be $300 a show.
Nice. And how old did you get before you started dancing? A 4-year-old is going to be tough to dance, but at 6, 8, 10, you can really do amazing things.
What they did was I went out with a boa, and they would pick me up and take me to the edge of the stage, and I would introduce the show. Nice. So it wasn't like a big deal, but for $20, I did it. My mom gave me $20 every time I did it. It was great. And
now you're talking a boa. Is that a bow staff or a boa constrictor?
A boa. The feathers that go around your neck.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Not awesome. A staff.
Okay, I was bow staff, boa constrictor. We're looking for.
No. So basically, I have an innate ability to actually hear what people are doing find, and then just kind of nitpick to find where the soft spots are and what they're not doing, what they should do. It takes me a little bit, but I can talk with someone and kind of figure out, okay, well, what about this? What about that? Have you done this? Have you done that? And it's not inside of anything that most people would think of. You have your business, you have your traditional business, but have you done this to make this work? Have you done that to make that work? And have you cleared this to make that clearer for you? And that's something I've always been able to do, and I don't understand it. I don't know how, but it's always been something I was able to do. And so I guess that sets me apart from everyone.
Yeah, you're gifted. You're gifted at that part.
Mm.
Well,
I was weird.
I can't say you're weird because I'm wired the same way. Someone said you're an outside of the box kind of thinker. And my general reply to that is, where's this box?
Exactly.
How big is it? What color is it? Describe this box to me. I don't understand it.
I don't.
And then they really realize that, if you think there's a box and you're in it, you're inside that box.
Yeah.
You got parameters. And, I keep telling everybody, what are the parameters that you live by? And they tell me all the parameters, got a wife, kids, house, business and all this. I go, cool. Who put those parameters in front of you? And they go, I did. I'm like, exactly. Can you change it? And they're like, yeah, that's the outside of the box. Get on the outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
So with people listening, we had a few viewers and they asked a lot of questions. If someone wants to get better at what you do, and it's hard because it's creative, that's tough to do. What would you suggest they do, and what tips would you give them?
Always reach out to other people who've done it before you.
There you go.
It's like, okay, so, and a lot of people don't want to mentor, but YouTube and all these other places where you can actually learn, get a relationship, go to a seminar and build a relationship with someone that you admire. Don't be the smartest person in the room.
A lot of people don't understand that. Don't be the smartest person. Everybody says, you want to be the smartest person in the room. Be the dumbest.
Be the dumbest person in the room.
Why? See, that's where people don't understand.
Right. You see, this is the thing. You're never going to learn and you're never going to excel unless you see something above you that you can not reach, that you want to reach. It's like a teacher in the room of a kindergarten class and all the children are kindergarten. And you have one person who is above everybody that knows everything. Well, you are not ever going to surpass the kindergarten teacher in knowledge, because that teacher will only teach kindergarten stuff. But if you are a kindergartner and you're in a college course, now things are going to open up and you're going to be like overwhelmed, but take it one step at a time, because it's one level at a time. It's one thing at a time so that you can move yourself up to that college level. You don't ever want to be the smartest person. And if you are, pretend you know nothing so that at least you can learn something. It's always that humble approach of, I'm coming here to learn. Because even though you may be the smartest in the room, no one has to know, and you may just learn something that you've never known before. So always be that kindergartner, always looking for opportunity to learn and to grow, no matter where you are. But I would say set yourself up for failure so that you can learn what that is. And it's not really failure. It's more of a lesson to be learned that you haven't learned yet, so you can learn it and move forward.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I always say the saying, you'll understand this better than anybody. When I've competed and won a few trophies, and then when I win, I don't learn anything. But when I get second, third, fourth, or fifth, I've learned a lot.
Yeah.
Because you don't learn anything by winning. You just learn that you're the best that day.
That day.
And it's that day.
Yes.
You could do the same. I've competed and then I went on to the next competition the next day, and I don't do that good. It's that day.
It's that day. Yeah.
And when people are coming for you next year, they're coming to beat you. So you have to beat yourself last year.
Yeah, that's hard.
It is hard because once when you compete, you put everything into it. Now, what do you got to do next year? You got to put more than that in. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is tough. This is
Yeah.
tough. What is the biggest challenge you had to overcome in your career? That's usually a big one.
Me.
Mm-hmm.
I had to overcome myself, my doubts on who I could be,
Right.
who I can be, my past. There's a lot of people that you don't understand. If you're always living in the past, you'll never have a future. And you have to
That's a
leave
good point.
that past in the past and move on to the future. And it's hard because you grow up and it's like, I've been picked on, I've been this, I've been that, and you live in the past, but your future suffers from the things that you have dealt with in the past that still follow you in the future. You can't take it with you. You have to leave it behind. So my hardest thing and person to overcome was myself, showing myself that, first of all, I'm worthy. I've worked very hard for where I'm at. I haven't compromised myself for anything. I've done what I needed to do. I may not be at this level where most people say I should be but you have to understand, if you have principles and you have morals, it's going to slow you down a little bit, only because you don't want to compromise yourself. You don't want to compromise you, because when you get to that high level, it's going to be because you compromised. And I don't want to do that. And so it was me saying, okay, you're not good enough. You're never going to make it. But I did make it. I made it because I kept what I said I was going to do. I am where I say I am, and I've done what I said I was going to do, and I'm continually doing it.
Nice. So perseverance is what got you through the hard times.
Yeah. And
Nice.
giving up my past. It's very hard to give up a past that was so traumatic. But I can't take it with me to the future.
No. The past is the definition of past is in the past. And if you
Yeah, it
let the
should
past,
stay there.
yeah, and exactly, good or bad, it should stay there.
It should stay there.
And the future is, the future is unwritten, so it's open. I love that part.
Yeah.
But the one thing that most people forget is the present. They call it a present because it's a gift, each one.
Yeah.
It sounds like things are going very well for you in your business and your career. Looking forward to the future, wondering how to create, what do you do to get your income and then turn into passive income, investing? What is your secret for that?
Oh, goodness. And I thought about this. A lot of people say, oh, affiliate marketing. They say this and that. They say, what setting yourself up for a passive income or something that's going to come in while you sleep is going to depend on a lot of multiple factors, a
Yes.
lot of wheels that you have to kind of put into place.
Right.
What would that be? Work once, live off of that, right? So setting myself up and being the co-CEO of a broadcast network, I work once, I sign people up, and when they grow, my finances grow. And I don't have to work on that. That's something I just have to make sure that everything is oiled and running smoothly. I don't have to work on the same thing all the time.
Gotcha.
That's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is to actually invest in yourself. If you have a coaching platform where you're doing videos and stuff and you're only doing like twice a month meetings, like live, you could do stuff like that. Well, that is semi-passive, but it also is something that you could be doing that you love to do, but you have to do it. It's not completely passive, but if you have merch that goes along with it, if you have courses that you've already pre-recorded, that's a passive way of doing it. There's really, how would I say this? And people say, oh, I'm going to work once and I'm not going to ever work again. The only way you could do that is if you put something like this into the market and you never have to advertise it. Is that feasible? No, it's not. Passive to me is not something that most people have the definition correctly. Passive means I'm going to sign you, and now that part of it's done. I never have to repeat that part So most people are doing sales and they're selling pens, and every day they got to sell this pen or they don't make any money. That is not passive. But what if I did this pen? I designed this pen. I made a bunch of commercials for this pen, and now I have someone doing it for me. Now I can put the pen down and move on. To me, that's my definition of passive. Growing something to the point where I no longer have to be a part of it instrumentally all of the time is what I call passive. So I guess it's semi-passive.
Semi-passive.
Right. But I don't believe that there is anything in this world while you live that is completely untouchable at any point in time as you live. You're going to have to go back and check on it. You're going to have to go back and redo it. You're going to have to go back and fix it. You're going to have to go back and promote it. It's never really passive. So if people can get that in their minds that, yes, it's an income that you've worked on, you've gotten the product, you've done this, you've done that, and you don't have to touch it all the time. But if you leave it alone, it's going to die. And so it's not really passive. So that's pretty much where I'm at that.
Gotcha. Thank you for your time. We really appreciate it. And wrapping up the interview, wanted to find out what your plans are for the next 6 to 12 months. You had mentioned it earlier, so I just wanted you to put it out to the universe.
It's so amazing. So I am, like I said, the co-CEO of Women to Women and also True Eye Network. I'm also the CEO of Red Hot Reality Entertainment. So we do a lot of stuff for entertainment and music. So I've done the 2 songs my mom, Evelyn Thomas, wasn't able to do because she was sick. That's been sent already. And whatever they do with that, that's fine. On my record label, I have a folk artist that I've already signed. I have a country folk and I have an R&B singer that I'm getting ready to sign to the label. And I'm also going to be doing my own music. And I'm going to continue to interview people, continue to have my podcast, my radio show, my TV shows and stuff, continue to do what I do and grow. I'm planning on writing that book because I have to write a book, because it's a lot of stuff that I've done. I have to write a book, and I'm also doing the coaching platform. Right now, I'm in the process of doing all that. Once I get everything done, then it's going to be done, and then I can kind of put somebody over that and just do the fine things I need to do from time to time and then move on. I'm hoping that within the next 12 months, I'm able to actually start a seminar or something to that effect where people like you can come in and coach and make money and give people opportunity that most people don't ever have. I'm not a talker. I'm a doer. I
disagree. I think you're doing great.
I'm not a talker. I'm a doer. So what do I mean by that? I mean that, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. You may not hear about it until it's done.
Right.
Because I've been talked to so much. Oh, yeah, I'm going to do this. Oh, yeah, I want to do that. They never do it. I hate that.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So that's the next 6 to 12 months. Yes.
Awesome. Well, listen, could you tell everybody, your name, how to get, Dr. Yaya Diamonds and how to get in touch with you and what businesses you own and how to connect with you?
Definitely. You can Google me. Yaya Diamond. There's pages and pages of me there. You can reach me at yayadiamond.com. I've made it very simple. On Instagram, it's Yaya Diamond Official. Most pages have made me put my given name only because when my mom passed away, I got a lot of hits from like Billboard magazine and BBC and Rolling Stone. So you'll find me Yaya Diamond. You'll also find me under my given name, which is Kimberly Thomas. And you can, like I said, you can just reach me at yayadiamond.com. You can also tune in to women2women.com, and that's the broadcast network. And that's pretty much it. I mean, you can find me anywhere.
Nice. Thank you very much. It was, I have to say, one of the best interviews I had in a good long time. It was a lot of fun. And
thank you.
Talking to a fellow martial artist, it was fun. We're going to say goodbye to everybody right now. And if you guys have any questions, please call her up. She's absolutely amazing. And I don't know about her. She said she's not a great talker, but she's a doer. She's both talker and doer. I'm going to say I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it. That's fantastic. Do it. All right, guys. Thanks for showing up. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. Michael Menino from Driven Unscripted Success. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for listening to Driven, the Unscripted Success podcast. Want to share your story? Apply to be a guest at drivensuccesspodcast.com/guest.